citizen was making pass at you and you didn't take advantage of that. So, but then the thing there is,
I feel like Senator Natasha and Senator Akpabio sexual harassment will not end anytime soon, because the more I watch Natasha spilling out more what was happening, the more I get to understand that there is a reason that Akpabio did not give her a chance to say what she has to say, or did not even allow or answer her question why they move her from where she normally sat to that back. They did not give you reason. Okay, somebody like a child, if you want your child to stand, say stand up from that place. It's not good. Okay, stand up there. You don't mean to be there. Okay, stand up there. I don't want you to be there. You make your reason clear to somebody, but your own, you did not even make a statement. Say that is where you belong. Is it not still a Senate chamber? Am I not still the the senior Senate president? See, plenty things are happening. The two of them should come out and tell us real truth, because even we, our ear are inching to hear more. Please kindly subscribe to You and Two Media. We bring to you entertainment, celebrity gist, latest movies review. We bring to you Very Dark Man, Natasha and Akpabio case, and I believe that you're going to enjoy it here. Peace out.
time when I get back home. So I was still hungry just because I was avoiding being in the same space with him because he could just utter words and everybody there will laugh without thinking of how it will affect me, or he'll make statements and all that. So yeah, I didn't speak up because I wanted any settlement. I didn't want any money out of it. And neither was I seeking him to be arrested or anything. I mean, ordinarily in a sense of society, people who harass women should be punished. But I mean, Nigeria, I don't think we have gotten our institutions or societal orders have matured to that level. But I just wanted him to give me space to work because I was harassed almost continuously at that point.
Okay, so I need to round up that last question based on the tape and some of the things that Reno Mokuri said. Thank you for addressing some of that. Also, there has been allegations by Senator Nwabwe that...
Oh, and one more thing. I don't have 6 children for 6 men, like he said. No, I have just 4 biological children. And I know I forgot that part. I don't know why he didn't play it. It's somewhere in the video where he said I have 6 children for 6 men. And even if I have 6 children for 6 men, I don't have 6 children. I have 4 biological children, but in total, with my stepkids, we're all 8 children in total. So, but even if I have 6 children for 6 men, that does not invalidate the fact that if I speak of sexual harassment, it should not be investigated, and that does not make me a bad person.
So one of the things that he also said was that you sued your husband, you forced him to marry you. Was that all made up, or did you?
That's all made up. That's all made up. I didn't coerce my husband. We're actually in court on that. As a matter of fact, he was avoiding service. So 2 days ago, or yesterday, the court granted the substitute order permit. So I believe it's on the papers now, and it could be pasted in his office or at the gates of the National Assembly that he's served, so that he will attend to the case, the charges there. I didn't harass, I didn't coerce my husband. My husband is such an amazing person. I mean, Adiola, he's an amazing person. He's been my strength through these challenging times, even throughout my elections. I actually pray that more women in politics, most women in Nigeria will be lucky enough to have a man as supportive as my husband, you know. Yeah.
So you've sort of answered my next question stylishly. I was just going to ask, okay, was there sexual harassment? Did it actually happen? And more importantly, people have been asking, where is your evidence? When will you make your evidence public? Can you speak about that?
Sexual harassment did happen a number of times. And yes, I do have my evidence, and I will tender the evidence at the appropriate place. Like I did say, I thought the Committee on Ethics and Privileges would be the first place for me to tender my evidence, but that did not happen. And then I thought also the presidential panel will be another place, but that also did not happen. So at the next opportunity that I have to tender my evidence, which I also have witnesses
So
You
they
know,
didn't let you tender your evidence at the
I was
panel?
never called upon to speak. No, I was never called upon. I was never called anywhere. There's never been an inquiry into that where I was called to tender my case.
Okay. So we're running out of time. Like I said, I really want to take questions from people, and we have not even gotten to Sandra Duru's drama. But actually, let's go into Sandra Duru's drama. But I just want to say real quick though that you do have a number of petitions against the Senate President, against Yaya Bello, against Umoebui also, and against Sandra Duru. Has any of your petitions been addressed?
No, thanks, Diola. As a matter of fact, I have all the petitions listed, 12 of them in total. The first petition on March 11th, second March 25th, then March 31st, then April 4th, April 24th, April 28th, April 29th, May 2nd, May 6th, May 15th, May 19th, May 19th. Had several petitions written to all the security agencies. And unfortunately, there's been no investigation. And these petitions are all interwoven from threat to life, withdrawal of my security, assassination attempts. The when Sandra Duru made the live video on the 1st of May, I did write my first petition against her on the 6th of May. I think I did send you a copy. And then after the interview where Frances and Obina spoke up, we then had to make another interview because we could then see that there was a connection with the Senate President. So we now wrote another one against Sandra Duru and the Senate President. That was on the 15th of May. And unfortunately, none of these petitions have been investigated. And but when my lawyers went public with this, with the cause that there is bias in the investigation, in the activities of the police. That was 4 days ago. When my lawyers went public with that, surprisingly, yesterday my lawyer told me that they received a letter of notice of investigation from the Inspector General of Police's monitoring unit. Just yesterday, my lawyer told me. So, and the question I have in mind now is...
This was the one against Senator Peter Oyekachi Umoebui.
Yeah, but when they didn't respond, so we went to court.
And this was the one against Sandra Duru.
Yes,
right?
This was on the 6th of May. If you see 6th of May, just right after her, where I mentioned that all those things she said, that I called Nigerian gullible and hungry. I offered to pay her 200 million to blackmail Akpabio, that I said I'm there to destroy the Yoruba government. I listed everything, that's all false and they should investigate. Nothing happened on that. What is this one? This was 4th of April. They thought to assassinate me. Yes, I did write this. Before I even went to, I wrote a petition before I even made an appearance on Shewa Kimbaloye's show. If you watch that video, if you watch the interview on Shewa Kimbaloye's, I did make reference that it is considerable threat to my life, and that the Senate President had met.
President. So has any of this, petitions been addressed?
No, not one of them. Not one of them. But like I said, if you can, there's one other document I sent to you. That was, no, not that one.
Okay. Which document?
Let me highlight it. Sorry.
And what does the document say? That now they would address the petitions?
Yes, this. I've just highlighted this.
Okay. Awesome. I do have that. Okay, so what does the document say while I'm...
So that document just notifies me that they want to commence investigation. And this was just after my lawyers went public that my numerous petitions were not receiving attention, and instead is the only petition the Senate President and Akpabio wrote against me, that I'm defaming them by crying out of the assassination, that's what the federal government initiated against me. So it's more like I came out, I wrote petitions, drawing attention to the assassination attempt, risk of my life, and that wasn't attended to. And yet the Senate President and Governor Yahaya Bello, wrote their own petitions, outcrying that I defamed them by speaking out. And then that is a petition that I am being charged for conspiracy, what's it called? Criminal defamation. Yeah. So this is it. It was just signed on the 27th. My lawyer received it. If you look at the stamp at the bottom, on the evening 2 days ago. So yesterday, my lawyer told me. And if you read it, there was no date mentioned. Like, in view of the foregoing, you are kindly requested to inform your client, that's distinguished Senator Natasha, to attend an interview with the head of the IGP monitoring unit at the first floor. But there was no date to it. So no date. That means it's just like a vacuum. But this was. I received this yesterday. So, but then again, look at it. Is this not what they ought to have done before charging me to court? I have written petitions.
You're saying that they should have addressed your own petitions.
They should have, yeah. They should have addressed it. They should.
Senator Akpabio's petitions.
Yes, they should have. I mean, I was the one who went to the police first. In short, my first petition was when the Senate President stripped me of my security. I did complain to the police that, look, I'm in harm's way, considering the fact that I had quite a violent election, and there has never been a time when the governor, Yahaya Bello, has ever given me a chance to breathe. I've always had to sleep with one eye open. So I was like, me being without security has made me quite vulnerable. And if you recall, the day I was suspended, the former Senate President, Ahmed Lawal, did raise that concern and pleaded with the Senate President to allow me retain my police officers, but then that was turned down. So I did write to the police. Nothing was done to that. And then there were attacks also to my home in my village, whereby my younger brother traveled home, and they thought I was the one there. So they attacked our home. And that was also on the news. There was an investigation whereby the police command in Kogi visited my home and did affirm that there was indeed an attack. And prior to that, remember the incident where I went home with the helicopter, which is on the 1st of April? 1st of April. A day to that, which is on the 31st of March, my chief protocol officer in Kogi, Honorable Jude Sule, he was abducted from his home by men in armed uniform, and he was questioned about my movement. He was questioned as to whether I was going to be in Kogi and which route I was going to take, and the man failed to honor them with any response. He was kept for 2 days before dropped at the police station in Okini. It's on record there in Kogi that the man was there. So there were considerable attempts to monitor my movement, track me, hunt me. And like I did mention, there was actually a meeting between Yahaya Bello and Akpabio on the night of the 14th of March,
So that's
2025, where they did plan to assassinate me and to recall me. And when I did call, after that information, I did call a few press houses to tell them that, look, there was going to be a recall and there was also an assassination attempt, but then they asked for written proof before the press could have carried that story. But then there was no written proof, like a statement of a recall. But then suddenly, after 3 days after that, the recall news broke up. So, yeah.
Okay. These are also like strong allegations, but you're defending yourself.
Yes,
I want to move to Professor Sandra Drew. And in talking about Sandra Drew, the most important thing that Nigerians would like to know, myself included, first and foremost, did you speak with Sandra Drew? Did you guys speak? Like, what's going on? Let's start from there.
Thanks a lot, Adiola. I know this is the most desired question, and everybody watching the all ears now. Yes. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. I would say that categorically, I did not speak with Dr. Sandra Duru, but I did speak with Professor Mbeki as she presented herself. And let me take you back.
It's the same person.
I got to know that it's one and the same person after her broadcast. Let me take you back. And I have, if you don't mind, the screenshot of the entire chats. If you don't mind putting that up so that I can speak to it.
You sent me a screenshot of your chat with her, but I'm also trying to make sure that the address of what's it called? Hold on, I just want to make sure that no address is showing.
So you want to blur the addresses?
Yes. So you speak.
Okay, let me speak. So in the morning at about 10 o'clock on the 27th of March, a dear friend of mine, Ina Ago, who I've known for the past 10 years. Last I saw him was 4 years ago, but we've always maintained contact. He's been very involved and concerned with the developments. So he reached out to me in the morning. I was tending to my garden, and he said, Natasha, there's someone I would like you to speak to. She's been doing a whole lot of publications in support of your cause. I said, who? He said, Professor Mbeki, Professor on Facebook. I was like, okay, I've seen one or two of her posts in my support. I think I did like and make a comment on it. He said, yes, that he did reach out to her. And then he was like, you know what, encouraged her and all of that stuff, and said, okay, if I should please call her and tell her thank you. My friend had connected me to a number of people in the past. Whenever he saw anyone grant an interview, he'll call me, oh, Natasha, I have this person's number, just say thank you. So people will feel appreciated and valued. I said, okay. So he did call the number out. That was about 10:30 in the morning on the 27th of March. So I called the phone. Hello, Professor Mbeki. She was like, hi, this is it. I told her, thank you so much for lending your voice to this cause. She said it doesn't really matter because she's a woman. She's been sexually harassed before. Her daughter was also sexually harassed. She connected with me, and she wasn't doing it for me alone. She was doing it for, the bigger vision, all Nigerian women and women around the world. Conversations went on. But basically, the conversations were not all that she put out or what she said. And before you run down the chats, the screen, I did send you the video of all the conversations, and I appreciate if you published it for Nigerians to read. But while we were speaking, she told me she was a professor of psychology. I had no reason to doubt because, come on, I like to believe people on the face value of what they present themselves to be. If she says she's a professor, okay, she's a professor. I mean, I supposed to know that she is Professor Mbeki is just a moniker. It's just a decoy of who she truly is. And she did say she was a professor of psychology. And I was like, oh, to myself, this is who I am. I ran her through my credentials as well. She said she's affiliated with a number of international organizations, United Nations, WHO, UNICEF for Children, and many others. I was like, okay. She said she was going to use her platform to draw attention on this matter of sexual harassment, and that if I had any other addresses, so that she would also write to them through her organization. I was like, okay, so while we're on the call, if you can publish that I think is important. I speak to the chat messages. So that was when I did send to her the first two contacts, which is the Senate President's counterpart in London and the Speaker of the Commonwealth, that, okay, while you're writing to your United Nations and other international organizations, you can also...
Those organizations, I wasn't able to blot their address. Is that okay with you?
Maybe just... Okay, so but how will you... But I want you to put...
organizations.
But will you put the video? I want you to put the remainder of the chat, because if you can't, then maybe you want me to do a screenshot. Maybe you start from.
Sorry, I just uploaded the wrong one. That's not it.
Oh, that's one of the posts she had previously written in my support.
Okay, so let me. What's this one? So I'm not able to blur.
But maybe you can skip that part so they'll know that, okay, that's what it is.
Okay. Let's see if you can skip that part. Okay, awesome. Sorry. Please keep talking. I'm having trouble inputting it, but it would work. This is where we rebuke the devil.
I wanted to share something.
And you know, one of the reasons that I'm glad that you sent this is because a lot of people would also like to know, why did you delete your conversation with her? Because she put up
We're going to get to that. That's why I want you to show the entire video, the screenshot. But what might have to happen, since we want to take away the addresses of the first. Yeah, you've showed it already. Yeah, okay, so we start from here. Yeah. No, just stop. Please go back a little bit to the top. Yeah. You can see it's Professor Mbeki. To the best of my knowledge that I spoke with, as she presented herself, it's just like you now, Adeola. If I've known you as Adeola, you can't come